Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is a speaker and author of several books on relationships. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to my spot. Overview of the House of the Woman. Yeah, and this is by popular demand. Let me shout out one of my supporters, Hiawatha. I forgot the number. Forgive me for that. But the overview of the House of the Woman. Now, this is something I had discussed briefly on BGS for Women Hangout, and I wanted to just go over it briefly here. It's actually something worthy of an entire presentation, and I might have something somewhere like a pay-per-view video talking about that on my Vimeo site, right? But just an overview. Now, understand what the House of the Woman is. And first, before I go further, I have to give honor to Master Yao and Yamache Morris, who wrote a book discussing these. It is called Awakening the Master Feminine. And there's a link to the book in the description box, right? So the House of the Woman, basically, all women have 4 archetypes within them that represents different aspects of feminine energy. Different aspects. Now, those aspects are the nurturing principle, the intuitive principle, the right brain intuitive thing, the gathering principle, and also the pleasure principle. Now, all women have this, but the issue with it is, and also with the corresponding principles in men, very few human beings are going to have all 4 active, even though when I've talked about this in the past, invariably get a woman who would say, well, 2 things. 1, that they're the elegant rose, and then 2, that they have all 4. Not really. It sounds good to say, think you have all 4, but they're actually way deeper than I would even present here, or even would be presented in a public forum, even in a book, right? But just to go over the principles real quick, and that's all I'm providing, like for a deeper understanding of it. Check out some of my past videos where I talk about it, and also check out the book Awakening the Master Feminine. But just for a brief overview, the first archetype is the moon archetype. Now, the moon woman, that's the nurturing instinct. That's the mother. That's the mother nurturing her baby, and on a secondary level, nurturing the men around her. That's the soccer mom. That's the woman who don't mind staying home and cooking for her husband. That's the woman who all the kids in the neighborhood come over to get that snack afterwards. The moon woman is interesting because, I know the word submission is a dirty word to many women, but the moon woman is probably the most submissive, but it's not an automatic thing. The man has to, if a man is dealing with her, he has to be a warrior type who is willing to protect her, willing to provide everything. He has to take responsibility. And in that way, the moon woman feels the most comfortable. But that's the receptive thing. So if you have that receptive thing, you probably have the moon in your active consciousness, right? It's not buried within you. And usually a good sign is how you deal with children. And even sometimes how you deal with males. And like on some it's not a perfect thing with anybody. There's always degrees. Like some women, they could try to treat all the people in their environment like they're their kids or something like that. But it's still that nurturing thing. The icon, the image would be like of that mother, like with her kids, and she's being a mother, right? So the second one is the seated hawk. Now the seated hawk is more than intuitive thing. It's a right brain thing. Like rational, logical thinking is a left brain thing. But it's a different way of thinking than what the masculine energy would do. The masculine looks at stuff in a step-by-step way, right? Step by step to a plan. The intuitive sees the whole plan right away. but it sees the end result of the plan, rather the big picture, but it doesn't see the steps to get to the picture. It just sees it, right? And it looks at stuff different. It's a different mode of thinking. It takes in the whole picture. Now, women like this in this culture too. These are women who might be into the new agey type of movements or something, or they just have a different way of looking at stuff. Now, because the seated hawk gets things done, but it doesn't do anything itself. It's the queen bee. It's kind of like women who have the seated hawk dominant will have a tendency to be bossy. Because they see the big picture. They see where you have to go, and they're not always trusting of a man to figure it out. So they'll say, look, you do this, this, and this, but that's not really their job, right? And just because of their very nature is intellectual, but not is just in a different way, not in the same way as a man. They tend to get along with men better, right? And I guess that helps because then they can get men to do what they need them to do, right? Like men will click with them. But it's still not technically what they're doing is logic. It's just an intuitive thing. They can see it, and sometimes they can have an insight into a man's nature, so they can know what to say and do to get a man to do what they need them to do. And that's some of them. Now, some of others of them, if it's not as well developed, but still there, they're the type who's going to look at that guy and like try to force him to do stuff. It don't work, but still going to try. So that's the seated hawk. Right. Usually seated hawks make good managers. Like those type of women who work on a job as a manager can get a whole bunch of dudes to do whatever. Because they speak man. They know how to speak man. Or they have enough of an intuitive insight to know how to like motivate. Those are the like functional ones. So the next one is the treasure chest. That's that woman who know how to go out there and make that money. Like the treasure chest, she gathers. Her job is basically to gather for her family and stuff. She goes out there, she'll gather the herbs and all of that. Now it translates in this society as that woman who can go out there and make that money. She's more the money maker. That's the corporate woman. That's the entrepreneurial woman, right? That's the Oprahs. Right, they can go out there because what are they doing? Instead of gathering herbs or fruits and vegetables and stuff, they're gathering money. So they doing it, working a job or something. That's the one most comfortable working at like a corporate job or something. Right, that's the one she a bit more serious because she got to be a bit more serious to get that money and stuff. Right, so that's the treasure chest. Now the final one is the elegant rose. That's the pleasure principle. Those, the best example of them in this society are the thoughts. But the thoughts are what they're about, pleasure, right? What they're about is pleasure, and that's a good thing. You still need that sensual pleasure. The elegant rose, she's the type who's comfortable in those high heels and short skirt and showing her, parts of her breast. Showing that cleavage and stuff, wearing that makeup. That's the shoe. The elegant rose, those is women working at the makeup counters and stuff. All right. Now, here's the thing. Most people might have one online. The average person has just one online, with the other ones being buried deep. Right? Someone who's done some work or just had a fairly functional upbringing and development in life might have two. Right? Somebody extremely extraordinary has three, and someone who really has four. All four, that's pretty much a goddess. Now, the interesting thing I found with people, like I said earlier, you get two things with women who've heard this. All of them think they the elegant rose. And like if you just describe just a little bit, oh yeah, I'm the elegant rose, I'm the elegant rose. Even though they dress like a moon woman. Like an elegant rose, you trust me, if it's in there, that she wants to party and stuff. She gonna make sure everybody sees her body. She'll keep her looks up, everything. If you dress like a mom or you got that corporate thing on, you probably don't have it dominant. Now, the interesting thing is you could have it a part of you. Some women will have it a part of their personality, but like I know a woman, even though she had a daughter, her moon wasn't that well developed, neither was her seated hawk, but her treasure chest and her elegant rose were very well developed. In fact, she used one to make money with the other, right? To draw men to her and everything. Now that's a true one. I mean, she got the like big heels, tight clothes, everything. And plus, elegant roses tend to be friendly, but everybody doesn't have that. And see, that's one of the things. If you're looking at the archetypes, resist the urge to think you have all of them. I mean, it's buried deep within you. You might show maybe a flash of it, but think in terms of which one is dominant, which one or two is dominant, and that's pretty much it. So that's an overview. Check out the link in the description box, and I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.